Guys, I was serious when I said this is gonna be a vlog of audiobooks and moving. You need to put this audiobook on hold right freaking now. I still trust her. I would die for her. I would follow her into battle. Live, laugh, loving it. And I had cereal, but no milk or bowls or spoons. I'm so excited. I think her name's like Samantha Bitterroot Sweet something. But Samantha Blood Right Bittersweet Blood Tongue Sugar Face. Y'all, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. Please ignore the stain on my shirt. I just got out of the heat and it's so hot outside. My whole upper lip was sweating and I like wiped it and got all my lipstick on. My favorite shirt says down bad crying at the gym. And so I will be putting stain remover on this as soon as I'm done filming this clip. But hi! Welcome to Ask Me What I'm Reading. I'm Abby and my favorite question is when people ask me what I'm reading. Thank you for asking. This week I will be listening to audiobooks. I am moving, yay! I have been, I don't want to say homeless because I've always had a home. I've been transient. I've been couch surfing for the last 10 months because I kind of like pressed the reset button on my whole life. So I am finally moving into my own apartment a week from today. It's Sunday right now. So it's go time, baby. I get my keys tomorrow. I'm gonna deep clean on Tuesday and then I'm gonna start taking loads of stuff Wednesday through Saturday and then Sunday will be the last day I'll move. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on my to-do list, very exciting, but I'm gonna be driving a lot. I'm gonna be cleaning, packing, unpacking. So I'm not gonna have a whole bunch of, and I work full-time. So I'm just not gonna have a whole bunch of time to sit down and read, but I will have a lot of time where I could be listening to an audiobook. This week's gonna be, let's call it, spend a week with me while I move and listen to audiobooks. They're probably gonna be audiobooks that aren't even on my TBR. I just find them on Libby and I'm like, sounds good. And start listening to them because books I really, really care about, I'm usually gonna read those physically. So a lot of the books I'm really excited about and that are on my TBR, those are gonna be physical reads. Audiobooks are always like, yeah, I'll listen to this because I'm not a great auditory processor. Yeah, it's a busy week. This week we're gonna be moving, doing life, and listening to audiobooks. I'm at work and I'm running a little late so I can't talk long, but I wanted to let y'all know that I finished The Coworker by Freida McFadden. I gave it 3 stars. I think it was honestly like my sister, she does not like, my younger sister, she does not like thriller or anything scary, but if I think I were ever to recommend a thriller to her, it would be The Coworker by Freida McFadden because it's not scary at all. And I'm someone who gets scared pretty easily. I'm starting to notice a trend with Freida McFadden's books is that there's always like an unreliable narrator. And then yesterday I started Ward D by Freida McFadden. This is turning into a Freida McFadden account and I don't even love Freida McFadden. It's interesting. I'm about 60% into it. Guys, I got the keys to my new apartment. I'm so excited. I need pillows. I realized that I don't have any pillows and I need a shower curtain and a shower curtain liner. Crazy to be 31 years old and have had a wedding registry before and had all these things and then, now I don't. So it's like kind of getting to start over though, because also my taste is so different than what it was when I was like 24 or whatever when I got married. I didn't remember the reading room or the sunroom being as big as it was, but it's so big. So my bookshelves are gonna fit perfectly in there and a reading chair. And that's my favorite part of the house. I wanted to give you a bookish update. I finished, which I've been reading so much Freida McFadden, which I know this is only like my 3rd or 4th video, but so y'all are gonna think I'm this huge Freida McFadden fan. I'm really not. It's just that I'm in this season of life where I want something to listen to that I don't have to. Sorry, that's my dog playing with him's toy. Oh jeez. He's embarrassed. Sorry, he doesn't want us to look at him. I have absolutely no desire to read the Housemaid series. I saw the movie, that was enough for me. I'm not that kind of girly. I'm fine not reading that series, but I love her like standalones. They're just so like whatever. Today I finished, not the Coworker, I finished that yesterday. Today I finished Ward D. This medical student is doing rotations and she's in a rotation in the psychiatric unit. She has to spend the night in Ward D, which is a locked psychiatric facility with like dangerous individuals. There's like people who are in seclusion and there's like scary sounds happening and there's not good cell service and the power goes out and they're locked in there, and it was interesting. I'm leaning between a 2-star or a 3-star. I didn't enjoy it as much as the others I've been enjoying, so I'm thinking maybe a 2 or a 2.5 star rating. But I mean, I can't complain. I knew exactly what I was signing up for, so I'm not one to complain. I'm thinking a 2-star rating, just because 3 stars to me means it's solid, it's good. So I think I'm gonna go with a 2-star for Ward D. And then I tried a couple of different audiobooks. I was like, okay, I'm kind of tired of the thriller vibe. I want a romance. I have 2 from Annabel Monaghan, who her books are kind of hit or miss for me, to be honest. I loved Summer Romance. Nora Goes Off Script, I actually have good memories of it. I think I was upset about it when I read it, but I remember it fondly. I've read a couple others of hers too that I just don't really remember. I don't even remember the title. I think one was like about this girl who comes back home and is living next to her childhood best friend, like that kind of trope, and it's like summertime or something, same time next year, or I don't know what it's called. Anyway, I have 2 from her. One is Dolly All the Time, which is I think the newer release, and then the other one is her second most recent release. I can't remember the title, but I'll put it up on the screen. I tried to listen to the first few minutes of that one. It's the one where she's like, she was a childhood actress who played like this dorky, silly character in like a family sitcom, and people kind of typecast her as that, but now that she's an adult, now she works in like, she's a writer or a producer or something, and she has this script or this project she wants to do, this movie, and she wants to get this like famous musician to be in it. She ends up having to get like a childhood friend or a nemesis or a coworker that she doesn't like to help her get this guy to help with the movie or something. Anyway, I listened to the first few minutes and the narrator's voice drove me up the wall. It annoyed me so much. I said, I can't do this. And so then I tried another Freida McFadden. I think I pulled up, I'll put the cover up. I can't remember the name of it either. It was like, Did You Know, or Did You Know That? I'll Tell You. Do You Want to Know a Secret? Is it Do You Want to Know a Secret? Anyway, wasn't super into it. I couldn't focus. Then I just listened to Noah Kahn all afternoon. Then on my way home from work, I started the audio for Tourist Season by Brynne Weaver, and I'm obsessed. I'm only on the 2nd chapter, but the narrators are amazing. The female narrator is the same narrator who did Shield of Sparrows and Rights of the Starling, so that's giving me some good nostalgia. Is nostalgia accurate when I just read those books last month? Anyway, yeah, love that female narrator. I think her name's like Samantha Bitterroot Sweet something. But Samantha Bloodright Bittersweet Blood Tongue Sugarface. I can't remember. Loving it. Loving it. I love how it starts with her talking about her wood chipper named Cookie Monster, and she's a vigilante girly. No spoilers, but it's basically serial killers falling in love. But they're the kind of serial killers you want to root for in a weird, twisted way. I did read Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. Don't tell my mom. LOL, because my mom does watch these videos. I tried the second one. Is that Scythe and Sparrow, or is that the third one? What's the second one? Leather and Lark. And I got freaked out. The guy was too scary. He was too scary, and I said, I can't do it, and I DNF'd. I might go back to it one day when I'm more brave of a girl, but I couldn't do it. But Tourist Season I'm loving. So I've only read the first book in the Ruinous Love trilogy, and then now I'm reading the first book in her Seasons of Carnage trilogy. I'm on chapter 2, loving it so far. I'm not very far in. Turns out it's just what I needed. It's like the mixture of the thriller stuff that I've been loving recently, but like low, like the silly, goofy thriller that I prefer, not super, super scary. And then it's also the rom-com humor that I was craving with the Annabel Monaghan that I didn't quite get. And a perfect narrator, so I'm happy. Live, laugh, loving it. Good morning, rise and shine. Let's fucking go. It's Tuesday morning. I'm about 30% into tourist season and I'm enjoying it. I feel like it's pretty cut and dry what's gonna happen, so we'll see if I get surprised at all, if anyone's like not who I think they are, but I think I know who like everyone is, if that makes sense. Anyway, also I've heard my friends say that it's kind of gross and that I might not be able to handle it, and so far it's been fine, so I'm waiting for whatever they're talking about to happen. I'm kind of nervous. Hi y'all, Roscoe's here. We just parked at the new apartment. I need to put some packages inside. It's Friday night. Also wanted to let y'all know that I just finished Tourist Season by Brynne Weaver. 4 stars, loved it. I didn't realize, because Butcher and Blackbird and like the Ruinous Love trilogy, I guess it's not a trilogy, it's like a series. It's like, it's interconnected standalones, but this seems like it's gonna be one continuous story about the same characters. So now I'm even more excited for the next book, which I think is already out, Harvest Season. Very excited. And also at the ending I was like, I knew it, but I didn't super knew it. I had an inkling, but I was like, I kind of knew it. So anyways, I'm glad to hear that one of my theories panned out. Yeah, I really liked it. 4 stars. The only thing keeping it from 5 stars is because I think I liked Butcher and Blackbird more. But yeah, I'm still like obsessed with it. Had a good time. And you always think that the main characters are so evil because like, hello, they're murderers. They literally unalive people. But then at the end, Brynne Weaver likes to put you in the head of like a real like morally black person, and you're like, oh no, that's what true evil looks like they're bad. So like she ended this book by introducing a villain, and I'm just like so ready for the next one. Hello, it is late and I am tired, but I wanted to update y'all because I haven't talked to you in a while. I started Best Offer Wins and I'm enjoying that. I am pretty far in. Today is Saturday and I cleaned an Airbnb today. So that was like 3 hours of nonstop listening. And then I did a lot of driving. I've been driving a lot, just like between where I'm living, work, the new apartment, my parents' house, and like other stuff to hang out with friends. So I've been listening to a lot of audio. So I'm now 78% into Best Offer Wins. I'm having a good time. It definitely felt more like lit fic or like just straight up like contemporary fiction at the beginning, but then it gets a little more unhinged, and then at the point where I am now, I'm like, just how unhinged can this girl get? Like, the reasons I have for continuing are that I'm like, I don't know why I always want to look at this side of my phone when I need to look at this side of my phone, and I'm sorry if that bothers y'all. It bothers me about myself, but for some reason I just always want to look to the right, and I forget that sometimes I'm holding it on the left. I'm gonna try to maybe be better about in my next vlog about holding my phone so that the camera's on the right side, since that's apparently where I want to look. What's keeping me reading is I just want to see how unhinged this girl is gonna get. Like, how far is she gonna go? The main character, Margot, this book is told in first person POV. Her childhood was just not what she wanted. Her parents weren't very stable financially, emotionally, anything. She had a childhood where she was alone a lot, and like their financial stability wasn't great. They like, one of their houses was foreclosed. She like is bound and determined to like replace those childhood memories with like what she believes is like the ultimate dream. She's like put all of her childhood trauma and all of her hopes and dreams into this idea that in order to be happy and like her purpose in life is get married, buy a house, have a kid, get a dog, have the like, and then she's won. I'm also reading, not only because I want to see how unhinged she's gonna get, but also because I'm hoping that it ends with her realizing that she doesn't need those things. I'm hoping that she just kind of heals. I don't know if that's gonna happen because this book just seems like the author wants to see how far Margot will go. She's not content at all with like where she and her husband are in life, and it just feels like she's doing the rat race, and I don't relate. I think I tend to be way more content with the fact that like I may never own a home. I don't like want to have like the marriage and the kids and the babies and the house and everything. Like, I mean, I have other things that I think like will make me happy or whatever, but I don't relate in that regard, but I do relate to staying with a guy who doesn't necessarily treat you well because you want to be a part of his family and have that like picture perfect like Christmas and like raise your kids in that kind of family that just is like does everything like in a very storybook kind of way. Anyway, it's also getting very interesting. She just found a burner phone and like stuff is happening and I'm in it, I'm invested. So I'm gonna sit here and listen a little more or maybe watch YouTube. And then it was my sister's birthday yesterday, so today some friends, we met up and watched a movie. We watched Voicemails for Isabel. Loved, cried, sobbed, and then did some like crafty stuff. And so I want to bedazzle a pill organizer. I do have to take pills every day. I'm on an antidepressant, obviously. And then I also take allergy medicine mostly throughout the year. And then I also am deficient in vitamin D and B12. So I do have a pill organizer, but I just thought my other one was so boring. I feel like this one's so cute. And so I have that, and then I like have some stuff to bedazzle it with. So just to make it fun and girly, and like, why not? Why not romanticize life? Why not make your pill organizer cute? Guys, sorry that I'm so sweaty nasty, but moving day is complete. So thankful for my family and my friends who helped. Like, I feel so loved that they were willing to help me move onto the 3rd floor of an apartment building in this humidity, in this heat. It felt like we were swimming through the air. Everything's in there, and not everything's unpacked. In fact, nothing's unpacked. My mom helped me. Like, I wanted to just make sure my bed was made, Roscoe's bed was made, I have my toiletries, my work bag is ready for tomorrow, I have an outfit for tomorrow. So I have Bubba with me, and we're about to go to our new home. Y'all, I'm obsessed with my new commute. I left at the same time I always do, and I had time to grab breakfast, and I'm 10 minutes early to work. I know I'm on a budget. I grabbed breakfast because I had toaster strudel, but no toaster or toaster oven, and I had cereal, but no milk or bowls or spoons. I didn't really talk about best offer wins a whole bunch, I don't think. I can't remember. I really enjoyed it. I feel like it would be a good entry book into the thriller genre for people who don't read a lot of thriller or don't want anything too scary. Like, it almost feels more just like contemporary fiction about this couple living in Washington, D.C., wanting to buy a house in Maryland, wanting to start a family, settle down, you know, plant roots, but just the housing market is crazy, and they've put in bids on like 11 different houses, and are just like really frustrated with the whole process and are trying to start a family, and that's frustrating. And then you just see how the main character, Margot, she had kind of a traumatic childhood and parents that weren't consistent or there for her, and like she didn't have the childhood she wanted. So it's like she's put her whole identity and purpose into creating like the ideal life as an adult for her future children. Like, she doesn't even really like kids, but she wants to have kids to give them that childhood, basically. Anyways, the whole book, you're just like, my motivation in reading it was like, I want to see how unhinged Margot gets. Like, it starts out very small. Like, there's this house that she's obsessed with. Maybe she like trespasses and like looks inside, and then maybe she figures out where one of the homeowners goes to hot yoga and mildly stalks him and shows up, and then like gets herself invited to go to the park with him and his daughter, and like things just escalate from there. It was very interesting. I liked, like, the whole time I was like, what is she gonna do next? Like, just how unhinged is she gonna get? And let me tell you, she gets unhinged. I gave it 4 stars, loved it. I am now listening to Dolly All the Time by Annabel Monaghan. Y'all, it might be 5 stars. I'm obsessed. It's giving summer, beachy vibes. It's fake dating. It's a single mom with a 12 or 13-year-old son. She lives in Boston with her son. Her son's father is not in the picture, doesn't want to be in the picture. Her mom left her family when she was 12, so when she was her son's age. She has a younger sister and brother, but she kind of had to grow up too fast and like take over the role of like being a mom, so she almost has like more of a mother relationship to her siblings than a sibling relationship. And so she's just always like taking care of everyone. Dolly goes home because there was a fire at her dad's house where her brother also lives. He is older but got in a car accident with their mom when he was like 8 years old or something and wasn't wearing a seatbelt and had a traumatic brain injury, and so like he has like schizophrenia and some other things. So she goes home for the summer. She's like a teacher. She teaches kindergarten, but then she also like has like 2 or 3 part-time jobs and is just like a very capable, hyper independent girly. She goes home, I guess like her home is now Boston, but she goes to her childhood home to help her dad with the fishing business and to help repair the house and everything. Ends up running into this guy, Stuart Whitfield, who like the town is named Whitfield, like his family like owns the town or whatever, and he has a flat tire, so she fixes it. Well, it turns out his fiance had just dumped him publicly and like kind of hurt his image, and then there was a picture taken by a paparazzi of her fixing his tire, and so like to make it look like a better situation, they pretended that he was teaching her to fix the tire and that they're a couple. So now he's paying her to fake date him for this so he can have like a better public image, because like this big promotion is coming up, and she's motivated because the money will help repair the roof of her childhood home. It needs like a whole roof. Anyways, this man, Stuart, has me panting and drooling. I'm obsessed. Stuart is very like workaholic, anxiety, goes to therapy, needs help like loosening up a little bit. I love Dolly. I feel like she's such a well-rounded, complex character. I can like understand her whole like childhood history and motivations and how she works. I'm loving it. Usually Annabel Monaghan books, I'm going into it and I'm like, this is gonna be 3 stars, 4 at most, but I'm like, this is 4 stars, maybe 5. Guys, I'm 75% into Dolly All the Time by Annabel Monaghan, and I think it's gonna be 5 stars. I'm binging it. I'm probably gonna finish it within 24 hours. The yearning, the pining, the way that the male main character gives her hyper specific compliments. I'm obsessed. The tension. I also love any audiobook narrated by Julia Whelan. I don't know if I would love it as much if I did the physical version. I think that Julia Whelan as a narrator and as an author, honestly, is just like fantastic. Highly recommend the audiobook. I was only 40% in when I texted like my mom, my sisters, one of my best friends, and I was like, you need to put this audiobook on hold right freaking now. I also don't know if it's like, I'm like, wow, this is so good, this is 5 stars, just because like to me, Annabel Monaghan isn't necessarily like a 5-star author. I don't know if it's just because I had lower expectations and I'm so surprised, or if it's like genuinely if I had hyped it up in my mind and if it would still live up to that hype. But I'm obsessed. Highly recommend. It's fake dating. It's like he has money, she doesn't, but they're such kindred spirits, and he's so respectful, and he's just like an anxious boy, and she's like a nurturer, caretaker who's just used to taking care of people, and they're just so perfect for each other. But it's that tension of like, but this has a deadline, we can't be together, we're incompatible because we come from different worlds. Like, yeah, these feelings are starting to feel real, but this does have like an end date, and what's gonna happen after that, y'all. And she has a son and he's 12, and I love how he's included. I hate when people are like, oh, he's a single dad or she's a single mom just for the sake of it, but they don't like include the child, and it's just like a plot device or a trope they want to insert. But like, her son is actually in it. You can see what a great mom she is, and just like how Stuart interacts with her son. It is 7:30. I'm headed to work. I just wanted to quickly say good morning. I didn't film last night, but I did finish Dolly All the Time by Annabel Monaghan, and I'm like having such a hard time deciding if it's a 5-star or not. Right now I've settled on a 4.5, purely because in the last like 10% of the book, the male main character did something that I was so frustrated by. It's not like an unforgivable thing, especially knowing that he deals with like anxiety and stuff, and he is in therapy and he is working on himself. It's hard because if the author had done it any other way, it would have felt inauthentic and unrealistic. And so, like, it's the only way I could see for her to do it. Like, I'm glad that she chose to do it that way, but it was just hard to listen to. And then last night I started a new audiobook. I started Mad Wife by, I believe her name is Megan Church. It's giving lit fic, but also historical fiction because it's in the 1950s, but also satire. It definitely feels like it could go suburban thriller, psychological thriller. From the very beginning, you find out that the main character, Lulu, she ends up, I think, in like a psychiatric ward or facility, which, I mean, it's the 1950s. So if a woman had like postpartum depression or was going through menopause, they pretty much threw her in a psychiatric ward. Anyways, yeah, it's leaning like lit fic, historical fiction, but there's like some sinister elements, but it's also like irreverent and funny. So we'll see. I'll probably listen a good bit today. I think I'm like 15% into it. I've spent the last hour just unpacking a little bit and listening to The Mad Wife. I'm now 70%, guys. I was serious when I said this is gonna be a vlog of audiobooks and moving, because last night I tried to read my physical book, still trucking along in Starside, read like 4 pages and then fell asleep. But somehow I'm 70% into The Mad Wife. I'm enjoying it. It's very slow. It's very suburban 1950s. Thank God I didn't live as a housewife during that time. They talk about lobotomies and like how anything wrong with a woman, they would just like diagnose you with hysteria and give you tranquilizers. And I feel like sinister things are gonna happen and have happened. And so there is like an air of like there's a darker tone to the book, but it just reads like historical fiction. And I'm not obsessed with historical fiction right now because I just feel like it either glorifies World War II or it portrays women's suffering, and I'm just not interested. So thankful I didn't have to live during that time. Honestly, maybe I would sign up for a lobotomy if I lived during that time. But yeah, I'm 70%. I think that we're like working our way to a huge climax, but it's just been it's like a slow, The Mad Wife is very much so a slow simmer. It's a slow simmer, like we're going through her daily life and just like, guys, it just feels like she's a servant and we don't root for the husband at all. He doesn't treat her well. He's not like a bad guy, but he doesn't treat her well. I feel like he might be having an affair with his secretary. She's not doing well. She was diagnosed with hysteria because she's not sleeping and she has a rash and she has headaches. Anyway, it's slow. It's beautifully written. Like, it gets 5 stars for writing style, definitely. But I don't know if I'll give it more than 3 or 4 stars overall just because it's not my cup of tea. Because, yeah, again, it's like very 1950s. Love the historical fiction in that regard. Like, they're doing such a good job of portraying, like, the time and the technology and the setting and the neighborhood and the clothing and the lifestyle. But it's just making me equal parts depressed for women and thankful that I am not subject to the control of a man and that I can own my own credit card and my own car and rent my own apartment. Thank God. Anyways, 70% into The Mad Wife, 20% into unpacking my apartment. Also, tomorrow's gonna be the last day of this vlog because then as of Thursday, I'll be able to like sit down and actually read books. I'll still be unpacking, but I want to try to get most everything but the library mostly unpacked, and then unpacking the library is going to be a separate vlog, and it's also just not a priority. So, because I've already pulled the books out that I'm going to be reading in the coming weeks. Good morning. Sorry for the jump scare that is my eye patches and sleepy voice. It's 7:30 on Thursday morning, and I just needed to film a quick video telling you about the end of The Mad Wife and wrapping up this video. Yesterday afternoon, I finished The Mad Wife by Megan Church. Y'all, 4 stars. I, for a second, was like, wait, is it 5 stars? Because I had such a visceral, emotional reaction, and I'm obsessed. I got so angry. I also was like knee deep in this book, and then come to find out it's an unreliable narrator. And yet, tell me why, even though she's an unreliable narrator,
I still trust her. I would die for her. I would follow her into battle. I also think that, like, I like this style of historical fiction where we're not, like, going through different, like, countries and over long periods of time. The setting is small, both time and place. Like, time-wise, it only takes place over a few months. Setting-wise, most of the time, I mean, she's a 1950s housewife. Most of the time she's in her kitchen. And just, like, the description of the 1950s appliances and how her husband got her this, like, dishwasher, which is like this new invention and all the rage, and it has 2 hoses. One you have to hook up to the kitchen faucet so it can fill with water. The other hose you have to dump down into the kitchen sink drain so it can empty the water. And like all of her like gelatin salads that she would make, and like having to have your lips on, like your lipstick on when your husband gets home from work. And I think it also, and the author's note, one thing about me, I'm always going to read an author's note. If it's at the beginning, end, I don't care. Like, if I'm going to read a whole book, why would I not also take the time to read a short little author's note? That is just, like, adds so much information and detail. Okay, I'm back. I am at the Bark Park with Roscoe, just letting him run around a little bit. Also, we're in the middle of a heat wave. I'm miserable. It's 7:30, and like this is the latest in the morning I'd ever want to walk him. Even yesterday morning, it was like 6:15 when I walked him, and I was so sweaty afterwards. I was miserable. Anyway, the author's note talks about this in The Mad Wife by Megan Church was like inspired to, or like her source material for writing The Mad Wife was Unwell by, and I can't remember the author's name, but I'll put a picture of it on the screen. I'm just like so thankful I was not born during an earlier time period. If you like domestic dramas and you want a splash of historical fiction, psychological thriller, highly recommend The Mad Wife. If you're a woman, I recommend The Mad Wife. If you're a human, I recommend The Mad Wife. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I was so delightfully surprised by it, and I think it's a book I'm gonna think about for a long time. Also, knowing what I know now, I kind of want to reread it, and I kind of want to own it because the cover is gorgeous. I'm obsessed with it. So if I'm ever at a used bookstore and I find one, I'm buying it. And that's that. Thank you for spending a few days with me while I listen to audiobooks and move. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Like I'm happy with how much I listen to, and I'm back in my audiobook era. Sometimes I can't do audiobooks, especially when I'm like depressed or anxious. It's hard for me to focus on listening to things. So I'm like very pleased with how obsessed I am with audiobooks right now. Like as soon as I finish one, I'm ready to pick up the next one. Make sure to leave a comment with what you're currently reading or what you want to read next, or if any of these books sound good to you and you want to pick them up.